Dear friends, welcome to Know Thyself YouTube channel. Good morning. Hope you're all staying safe and keeping well. I sincerely thank all of you who have subscribed to this channel and follow the channel. If you find the contents of the videos uploaded in this channel useful, kindly subscribe to this channel and click the notification or the bell button so that you can be notified when a video is uploaded. Kindly share the videos with others or in the internet. The last two episodes of A Message to Manage Your Day, we talked about the meaning and expression of thoughtfulness, respectively. In the next two episodes, we will focus on the opposite of being thoughtful, namely being indifferent. In today's episode, I would like to share some thoughts on the theme meaning and cause of indifference. Elie Wiesel was a Romanian born American writer, professor, political activist, Nobel laureate, and Holocaust survivor. He has written 57 books in French and English. His famous work, Night, was based on his experiences as a Jewish prisoner in the Auschwitz and Buchenwald concentration camps. He lectured at Boston University as a professor of humanities, played an important role in establishing the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum in Washington, D.C., and championed against human rights violation in South Africa, Nicaragua, Sudan, and Armenian genocide in 1950. He was appalled by the indifference of vast majority of people and nations towards violations of human rights. Speaking about the attitude of indifference, he says, the opposite of love is not hate, it is indifference. The opposite of art is not ugliness, it is indifference. The opposite of faith is not heresy, it is indifference. And the opposite of life is not death, it is indifference. Meaning that indifference takes all vitality out of life and destroys any form of purposeful living. Indifference consists in lack of interest in, concern for, and sympathy towards others. By being indifferent, people are unresponsive to each other, show a sense of apathy in their interactions, manifest lack of sympathy, interest, or concern while communicating to each other, approach each other with a sense of coldness, and they are aloof, disinterested, unmotivated, and lack passion about life. Indifference involves withholding positive interactions with others. It's a kind of passive aggression as we deliberately hurt people's feelings and sentiments by ignoring them and considering them as nothing. Hence, indifference is an aggressive act which attempts to victimize the other by hurting them internally and psychologically. When we show indifference to others, we deliberately deny them kindness and love with the intention of harming them. Therefore, indifference is destructive in nature. This is what Elie Wiesel meant when he said that indifference is the opposite of everything positive. What is it that causes in us the attitude of indifference? Indifference as a psychological condition can stem from a number of factors. Firstly, the overstimulated environment we live in can cause indifference. The flood of information from various sources we receive, to which we are called to respond instantly, can often be overwhelming and sometimes can even be somewhat traumatic. We may use indifference as a coping mechanism to shut ourselves down emotionally and mentally to these influences. Secondly, indifference may stem from the problems of life we encounter in our families, our workplaces, our communities, and the nation at large. These experiences can have devastating effect on us, particularly when we know that we have no power and energy to do anything about them. Hence, we may take an attitude of indifference towards these problems. We do not attempt to do anything remedial and instead shrug our shoulders, close our eyes, and move on. Thirdly, the crowd mentality or the bystander mindset can make us indifferent. We often live in an environment where people are generally indifferent and apathetic towards many things that happen in the society. The attitude of apathy and indifference are psychologically contagious viruses comparable to physical viruses. Hence, living in a society that is apathetic, we can let indifference infect us and get used to being one in the crowd or being a bystander among bystanders. Fourthly, certain mental illnesses and side effects of some drugs can affect our mind's proper functioning, which in turn can make us more apathetic and indifferent. Finally, there is a tendency in us to be egoistic and to let pride take hold of us. When egoism and pride reign supreme in our lives, we tend to see ourselves as at the center and everyone else as at the periphery. This can result in self indulgence and ignoring what is happening around us, in the process, breeding the attitude of indifference in us. Do I understand what indifferent means? Do I realize that indifference implies a passive aggression aimed at harming and victimizing others psychologically? Do I act with indifference in my interactions and communications with others? What is it that causes the attitude of indifference in my life? Is it the overstimulated situation in which I live? The problems I encounter in my life? The crowd mentality or the bystander attitude I find in the society? My egoism and pride? Or any other factor? Do I let my self indulgence blind me to see what is happening around me? Thereby, let the attitude of indifference breed in me. Dear friends, Peter Kreeft says, indifference is more truly the opposite of love than hate is. For we can both love and hate the same person at the same time, but we cannot both love and be indifferent to the same person at the same time. As we begin this day, let us become conscious of the destructive nature of the attitude of indifference. Let us take an honest look at ourselves to see if this virus has in fact infected us and how it affects our relationship in the real life situations. May the divine, who is never indifferent to you, but always thoughtful and caring, be with you today and help you to root out indifference from your life and be ever thoughtful and caring as divine himself is. This is my wish and prayer for you, dear friends. Thank you for watching this video. Stay blessed until we see you again with another video.